Senhoras e senhores, está começando a temporada 2017 do Poker Mundial aqui em Bahamas, no Poker Stars Championship. Acompanha tudo aí no The Real Game, beleza?
We met like
He's my striker.
I'm out of shape.
Tempão, hein, cara? Olha lá. Vambora trabalhar. Cara, o Akkari desse ano é um Akkari mais preparado, né? Mais preparado em todos os sentidos. Todos os anos eu venho evoluindo, graças a Deus, eu venho buscando evolução. E o tempo vai te dando experiência também. Então isso é não só evolução técnica, com estudo, com busca sobre novos assuntos, mas por experiência mesmo, por ter mais mãos jogadas, mais situações que você já ficou envolvido. Eu hoje sou um cara muito mais sólido, né, do que eu era antes. O PCA do ano passado foi um momento que até nas coisas no Brasil, em termos de negócios e tudo mais, estava no auge da crise no Brasil, então eu estava com muito problema para resolver, muitas coisas para resolver. Nada que fosse muito grande, mas que incomoda, né? Tira a cabeça às vezes do giro. Hoje eu sou um cara sem praticamente nenhum pepino, cara. Não tenho nada para resolver grande, tá tudo fluindo super bem. As coisas no Brasil estão no comando de pessoas super competentes e que não me geram nenhum tipo de trabalho, a não ser alegria. Então eu estou com a cabeça voltada 100% para a temporada de 2017. O PCA é o começo dela, tomara que dê tudo certo aqui. Eu vou me esforçar para ganhar o main event, para ganhar o high roller. Onde eu estiver envolvido eu vou jogar o meu melhor e vou entregar o máximo. Se vai ganhar ou se não vai ganhar, se vai pegar a mesa final ou não vai pegar a mesa final, é consequência de boas decisões, né? Eu vou tentar tomar a todo momento as melhores decisões. Vou sair daqui, vou pro próximo, que é em punta no WSOP, e vou tentar tomar as melhores decisões de novo. Sendo tecnicamente a cada dia melhor. Eu estou debatendo muito com caras que são muito bons, então isso está me ajudando demais a tomar decisões de equidades positivas. Então isso é legal para quem joga poker. Bora jogar. Vambora, estamos rumo a mais uma entrada, né? Entrei, aí perdi no 2.200, caí de 2 pares para sequência no turn. E agora estou indo para mais uma entrada no último horário aqui dos 2.200, do National Championship. E vamos embora passar pro dia 2 grande, se Deus quiser. É o mesmo torneio. Só que ele tinha múltipla reentrada, tô dando a primeira reentrada agora. Dei uma entrada, né? Vou dar a primeira reentrada. Hey, fish de pool! Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Good? How's everything good?
Well, actually, sport has been like my first love, you know, because I was like a professional video gamer when I was 19. I was the first European player to move to Korea to play StarCraft for a living. So I always loved video games, and I'm so happy that sport has exploded and has the success that it is having now. So and after I got into poker, I kind of like I couldn't compete in StarCraft anymore. So when I discovered poker, of course, I played a lot of poker. But since last year, I came back to Hearthstone because I joined Team Liquid. So I'm back in the esports scene, playing Hearthstone, but also like doing commentaries and like being and like streaming and involved in kind of like much different aspects. Yeah. I think there's a really strong link between both because I mean I came from an esport background and I know a lot of successful poker players came from an esport background, and now it's also like the other way around. Like there's a lot of esports players. I know like a lot of Hearthstone players. They love poker and they play a lot in their like hobby. So like if like poker pros, they have a hobby as a esport in video games, and esports pros, they have poker as a hobby. So there's like really huge link because in the end they're quite similar, especially when you consider like playing online on Poker Stars, right? It's just like you play in front of a computer and you compete against players and you have to outsmart them in some way, you know. So there's a lot of similarities, and I think the bridge is gonna be even like stronger between two in the years to come. So StarCraft is still like my favorite game, you know, in my heart to watch. But nowadays I cannot really compete because it's just like too difficult, you know. People are too good, and if you don't dedicate like all your life to it, you basically cannot compete. So I love to watch StarCraft 2, but I think to play Hearthstone is probably my favorite game because it's very similar to poker, and it's like you don't have to worry about the execution. It's more about the strategy, and there is some part of variance and fun, and anybody can win. Even though you're the best player, you're gonna win most of the time, but anybody can still win. And also the game is evolving very often with new release and expansion. So I enjoy it the most. But I also like to watch Dota 2, Counter-Strike, and LoL once in a while, you know. To compete, I mean, like basically, like you don't play video games. Especially if you want to play Hearthstone, you're gonna see a lot of similarities from poker. So it's not gonna be a too tough transition, but it's difficult, you know. Like it's just like you have to. I think like the most important is you have to be very passionate about what you do because it's gonna be really, really tough. Like people think like, oh, I'm gonna play video games for a living. It's like the dream, but actually it's much tougher than what people think. It's kind of the same in poker in that regard, you know. Like they see us on TV, and then like they see only one time when you win like a big tournament, and they're like, wow, this life must be so good. But they don't see all the hard work it takes and all the times that we lose on day one or we bubble the tournaments and so on. So you have to be pretty strong mentally.